Tonight, the world is holding its breath. Reports are circulating that Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, may have been killed in U.S.-Israeli strikes, a development that, if confirmed, could reshape global politics overnight. In this video, we break down what this could mean for the Middle East, for world powers, for oil markets, and for the possibility of war or peace in the coming months. Before we begin, make sure you subscribe to @Astro Global News and turn on notifications so you never miss critical global updates that matter. This is one of those moments where history could be changing in real time. If Iran's top leader is truly gone, the consequences would not stay inside Iran's borders. They would ripple across the Middle East, hit global energy markets, test NATO alliances, strain U.S. relations with China and Russia, and possibly ignite direct or proxy conflicts across multiple regions. The big question tonight is simple but terrifying. Does this moment push the world toward full-scale war, or does it open the door to a new political reset? First, let's understand the magnitude of such an event. Iran's supreme leader is not just a ceremonial figure. He holds ultimate authority over the military, the Revolutionary Guard, foreign policy direction, and nuclear strategy. Removing that figure abruptly would create an immediate power vacuum at the top of one of the most strategically important countries in the world. Inside Iran, the first consequence would likely be internal instability. Succession mechanisms do exist under Iran's political system, but transitions under crisis conditions can be unpredictable. Competing factions within the political elite and military establishment could struggle for influence. Hardliners might demand swift retaliation against the United States or Israel. Others might argue for strategic patience to avoid devastating escalation. The second consequence would be regional tension. Iran has strong influence across Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Yemen through allied groups and proxy forces. If leadership views the strike as an act of war, retaliation may not come in a single direct confrontation. Instead, we could see coordinated responses across multiple fronts: missile strikes, drone attacks, cyber operations, or disruptions in maritime routes in the Persian Gulf. Now consider global oil markets. Iran sits near the Strait of Hormuz, one of the most critical energy choke points on Earth. Any threat to shipping lanes would immediately send oil prices surging. Higher oil prices would impact inflation globally, from fuel costs in Europe to food prices in developing nations. Financial markets would react sharply. Investors would move to safe haven assets, and economic uncertainty would spike. Then there is the United States and Israel. If they were directly involved, they would need to prepare for retaliation not only regionally but potentially globally. American military bases in the Middle East could be placed on high alert. Israel could face missile or drone barrages from multiple directions. Defense systems would be tested in real time. But the consequences would not stop there. Russia and China would also be watching closely. Both maintain strategic partnerships with Iran. They may not intervene militarily, but they could respond diplomatically, economically, or through expanded support. The United Nations would likely hold emergency sessions. Calls for restraint would dominate international diplomacy. Another critical issue is Iran's nuclear program. A leadership crisis could either accelerate nuclear ambitions as a show of strength or temporarily pause them depending on who consolidates power. This factor alone would shape global security discussions for years. However, there is another possible path, one less discussed but equally important. Sometimes dramatic geopolitical shocks lead to recalculations rather than escalation. A new leadership structure might seek stability to secure legitimacy at home. Regional powers might push for back-channel diplomacy to avoid catastrophic war. International actors could intensify mediation efforts to prevent spiraling conflict. History shows that moments of extreme tension can go either direction. The assassination of key leaders in the past has triggered wars, but it has also led to negotiated settlements when all sides realized the cost of escalation was too high. Public reaction inside Iran would also play a role. National unity could strengthen around a narrative of resistance, or public fatigue from economic hardship and sanctions could pressure leaders to avoid prolonged conflict. Domestic dynamics often shape foreign policy more than headlines suggest. The digital battlefield must also be considered. Cyber warfare, disinformation campaigns, and online influence operations would likely intensify immediately. Global audiences would face a flood of conflicting narratives. In modern geopolitics, perception can escalate tensions just as quickly as missiles. So where does that leave us? At a crossroads. War becomes more likely when retaliation spirals without communication. Peace becomes possible when cooler heads calculate the cost of escalation. The coming days and weeks would be defined by signals, military movements, diplomatic statements, energy flows, and financial market behavior. The world has seen crises before that seemed unstoppable, yet diplomacy prevailed. It has also seen miscalculations that triggered years of instability. The difference often lies in the decisions made in the first 72 hours. Right now, uncertainty dominates the global stage. If these reports are confirmed, we are witnessing a turning point that could redefine alliances, energy security, and regional power balances. The question remains, will this moment ignite a broader conflict or force leaders into urgent diplomacy? We will continue monitoring every development, every statement, and every shift in global reaction. If you want clear, fast, and in-depth global coverage, make sure you subscribe to @Astro Global News and turn on notifications so you stay informed as this story unfolds. The world may be entering a new chapter, and we'll be here to break it down every step of the way.